Connecticut. You think quiet towns, Ivy League vibes, the basketball capital of the world, Charlie D'Amelio, and people who pronounce the T way too softly. But under that cozy East Coast energy is a history of rebellion, secret oaths, legal drama, and possibly, the best pizza in America. Let's rewind the wild, messy, surprisingly powerful history of Connecticut. In 1637, the Pequot War broke out. It was quick, brutal, and largely one-sided. The Pequot were nearly wiped out, and the English settlers claimed the land. This war basically opened the door for Connecticut's founding. The English began building Hartford, Wethersfield, and New Haven, setting up one of the earliest Puritan colonies in the New World. Colonial towns started showing up like Starbucks on a highway. In 1639, Connecticut settlers dropped the Fundamental Orders, basically a first draft of democracy. It allowed men to elect leaders, set term limits, and operate semi-independently from England. Fun fact, some historians call this the first written constitution ever. So yeah, Connecticut kind of beta-tested democracy before it was cool. In 1687, King James II was like, I want control now. Connecticut was like, weird flex, but no. So they pulled the Charter Oak move, hiding their colony's charter in a hollow oak tree to avoid it being seized. The Charter Oak tree then became the state's icon. Imagine hiding your government paperwork in a tree and having that become state lore. During the American Revolution, Connecticut went full send. Factories pumped out weapons, and dudes like Nathan Hale became legends. After the war, in 1787, Connecticut played a big role at the Constitutional Convention, proposing the Connecticut Compromise, which gave us the two-house Congress we still use today. So if you've ever hated the Senate, blame them. By the 1800s, Connecticut was manufacturing everything: guns, clocks, submarines, sewing machines, and typewriters. Basically the entire steampunk starter kit. It was home to companies like Colt Firearms, Yale Lock, and Winchester, and powered much of the Northeast's industrial growth. Connecticut also invented the hamburger in 1900. Yes, really. In the 20th century, CT also became a key financial center, especially in cities like Hartford, known as the insurance capital of the world. Now here's something schools often skip. Connecticut was a slave state for over 100 years. Enslaved Africans were held in homes, farms, and even universities like Yale. But in the late 1700s and early 1800s, things started to shift. The state passed gradual emancipation laws, and by the mid-1800s, Connecticut became a hotspot for the abolition movement. Leaders like Prudence Crandall opened schools for black girls, and local towns played major roles in the Underground Railroad. Progress was slow, but real, and often led by everyday people. Connecticut was also a force in women's rights and progressive reform. The first all-girls public school? Right here. And in 1965, a Supreme Court case called Griswold v. Connecticut struck down state laws banning birth control, laying the foundation for future privacy and reproductive rights cases. In the culture world, Mark Twain wrote Tom Sawyer and Hartford Harriet Beecher Stowe, who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, Live Next Door, and, yes, New Haven pizza is legally allowed to be better than New York pizza. Debate me. In both World War I and World War II, Connecticut stepped up big time. The state's factories produced everything from rifles to aircraft engines, especially through companies like Pratt & Whitney, Colt, and Electric Boat, which built submarines for the Navy. Its cities like Bridgeport, Waterbury, and New Haven went into full war production mode. At one point, 80% of the U.S. Navy's torpedoes came from Connecticut. Thousands of young men from CT enlisted, while women worked in factories and ran civil defense efforts. And after the wars, things got even busier. After World War II, Connecticut entered Cold War mode. The defense industry exploded, especially in cities like Groton and Hartford. It became a center for nuclear submarine construction, and the state's workers helped develop Cold War-era weapons tech, all while living in rapidly growing suburbs. And with growth came money. For decades, Connecticut ranked near the top in household income, education, and insurance. Today, Connecticut walks a weird political line, part blue state, part old school moderate, part rich suburb energy. Its population is diverse, educated, and honestly, a little chaotic. You've got Ivy League professors, TikTok influencers, boat dads, and legacy mob families, all voting in the same elections. Also, Connecticut was one of the first states to legalize same-sex marriage, expand marijuana access, and fight climate change on a political level. Oh, and remember Yale? That's in New Haven. So are Skull and Bones, secret rituals, and about 1,000 conspiracy theories tied in. Trust me, we're not even scratching the surface. So yeah, Connecticut wrote the first constitution, hid documents in trees, supplied wars, helped invent pizza fights, and continues to shape the United States in quiet, sneaky ways. Hit like if you learned something new and subscribe if you want to. It's free. Let me know what state I should do next down in the comments below. Until next time, peace, liberty, and constitutional trees.